So how do you feel about eating meat? Do you ever think about the animals?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. So what do you like? What meat do you like?
Pork.
You like pork? Yeah. What if I told you pork comes from pigs?
And I want to know seitan comes from.
Where does seitan come from?
You!
That's right.
My dad's name is Christopher Kim, and he makes seitan. Seitan is like wheat gluten, and it's boiled down to mostly protein. When we boil it in different broths that flavor it.
At one point, I was a corporate lawyer, and being a corporate lawyer has an interesting connection to food, actually, because it's a lifestyle where you basically live in your office. You eat like stuff that tastes good and is rich and whatever, but it's not healthy food. And so after a couple of years of that, I was like, this is gonna kill me. So I decided to change jobs. I got a job as a bike messenger. I started riding and exercising a lot. I got in really good shape. I quit smoking, and I quit eating meat, partly because I wanted to feel better and partly because I thought I couldn't afford it anymore. This is the production kitchen where Monks makes all of our seitan. Part of the process of making seitan is to make a dough. We make a dough from wheat gluten flour. It's gonna go in the broth, and it's gonna simmer, and it's gonna come out firm and succulent and extremely tasty. We are sort of Googling different things about seitan, and one of the sort of apocryphal stories about seitan, it was invented by Buddhist monks because once a year they cooked a meal for the emperor of China. And so they made this wheat gluten meat, this wheat meat for the emperor, and he enjoyed it so much that they began to produce it all the time. And so they started calling it monk's meat. What is this monk's meat? It's delicious.
Working with Chris is great because I work with a couple of good small purveyors, but nobody as direct. Cooking with seitan is pretty different from meat. You want the meat to taste like itself, like you want pork to taste like pork. With meat, like overcooking it even a little bit, it's kind of done. Seitan is a lot more forgiving. Let's go.
Awesome.
There's a lot of proteins in this world. That's one of them, and it can be a really good one if you know what you're doing.
A lot of the adventure of being a vegetarian has been discovering all these new foods and all these like different vegetables. Once I stopped eating meat, I felt so much better. People ask me all the time if I miss eating meat, and I don't miss it at all because I feel so healthy.
Also, the interesting thing about seitan in Asia too, in particular, and also I forget what the Chinese word for it is. Manjin, but it's used alongside meat proteins. It's used with tofu. It's used with beef.
Awesome. Thank you.
How to become vegan?
Well, when I was going to college, I decided that I wanted to stop eating dairy too, because I wasn't eating meat, and I felt that eating dairy wasn't necessarily that great for animals either. And it's not that I'm saying we don't have, people can't eat dairy or can't eat meat. It's really about knowing where your stuff comes from.
What's your favorite meat?
Seitan.
She won't listen to Bob Marley. Just like me, she wants a Harley Davidson.